Okay, so hey folks, what do we need to know about Trump's new tariffs that went into effect today? Well, as we know, the administration's 10% tariffs that were universal expired. They were struck down by the Supreme Court, so they were deemed to have been illegal anyway. But of course, they stayed in and they expired. So as of today, they implemented a new set of tariffs on 60 major trading partners. You see how they're being much more strategic and pinpoint, right? 10% tariffs for countries that the administration says adequately restricts imports made with forced labor, and 12.5% tariffs for countries that the administration says does not meet those standards. So how did we get here in response to the administration's first failed attempt at tariffs? The administration shifted to using Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, in which they argued that these new tariffs address unfair trade practices related to forced labor rather than relying on the administration's emergency powers. What countries will this affect? European Union members, China, Canada, India, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, and Taiwan. Some countries have negotiated exemptions, such as the United Kingdom, but that's because they had a previous trade agreement that still stands. But for the rest of them, not so much. So what areas have exemptions? Oil and natural gas, food products, aircraft, critical minerals, certain goods covered by the USMCA trade agreement, and that slightly depends on what that product would be. So you might ask how the world is reacting to these tariffs. Well, China called the tariffs unjustified. Brazil and Chile objected and indicated that they would respond in kind. The European Union said the new measures are generally consistent with its existing trade agreement, so they just like, meh, whatever. So that's how folks are generally reacting, except for Canada. Canada said, bring it. So economists expect that the effects will vary, the main issue being higher costs for some imported goods, increased costs for U.S. manufacturers that rely on imported components, and potential price increases for consumers if businesses pass along the added cost, which we know they are going to do. So there will be continued uncertainty for global supply chains and trade negotiations in the days to come. So, having said all of that, you're in your FAFO season. I mean, we told you this is going to happen. Bye, y'all. I'll be back with when most shit blow up on Monday.